The mystique surrounding the New England Patriots has always been deeply tied to their relentless ability to find unlikely heroes when the league's brightest lights shine. Looking at the most overwhelming dynasty of this century, the Foxborough machine never relied exclusively on established superstars, but rather on the astronomical evolution of young, hard-working talents who accepted the challenge of growing under pressure. We vividly remember championship rosters that gained body and soul, when second- and third-year athletes made the definitive leap in their mental and physical preparation, transforming into elite NFL cogs. History proves with irrefutable data that great dynasties and championship campaigns were paved precisely by this kind of depth and this hunger for affirmation in the locker room. It wasn't just about having a plan, but about possessing young players ready to explode at the moment the team most needed a tactical turning point. It was this aggressive mentality that made Gillette Stadium pulsate and left opposing coordinators completely bewildered, unsure of where the next decisive blow on the field would come from. This historical pattern of honing hidden talent and developing internally is the franchise's true signature, the DNA that accustomed us to demanding absolute excellence on every snap. Now, the most attentive fan can see that behind the scenes in New England, they are reviving exactly that same suffocating atmosphere of competitiveness that marked the most glorious years of our recent past in the league. The reality unfolding for the 2026 season places us squarely before this historical mirror, in a scenario of pure electricity and profound transformations within the coaching staff led by Mike Vrabel. The atmosphere on the training fields reflects an absurd seriousness. A concentrated silence before each decision indicates that the roster understands the magnitude of this year's responsibility. We are no longer talking about a slow transition period or excuses for lack of chemistry, as the current situation demands immediate responses from those who already know the Foxborough routine. 5 players in particular are under the spotlight and carry on their shoulders the real expectation of leading the franchise's big breakthrough year, propelled by the new game structure. On offense, vertical speed and the running game take on promising contours with the physical evolution of players who were previously seen only as supporting actors in the team's tactical plan. On the defensive side, the current scenario shows an aggressive, deep line of scrimmage motivated by the mentorship of all-pro veterans who give the youngsters total freedom to play with killer instinct. Closed practices have revealed a fierce competition for repetitions and a level of focus that the coaching staff has long sought to extract from the main roster. There's a distinct sense of urgency in the stadium corridors as everyone knows that the foundation for putting the Patriots back on the path to the Super Bowl is being laid right before our eyes. The fans can barely contain their excitement as they realize that the roster rotation has finally gained the depth needed to punish AFC rivals. The biggest difference between what we saw last year and the impact these athletes promise to deliver now lies in their tactical maturity and the surgical signings the management sought in the market. I confess I didn't imagine a scenario where the fit would be so perfect, but the arrival of reinforcements completely changed the dynamics of space for our second-year players to shine. In the running game, the presence of a dominant blocker unlocks corridors that simply didn't exist before in the middle of opposing defenses, allowing for explosive runs. In the passing game, while rival defensive coordinators devise entire game plans obsessed with double-teaming our new established stars, the young sprinters gain open field. On the front line of the defense, the departure of veteran players and the absence of athletes in contract disputes opened the doors for the second-year boys to assume starting positions on merit. The tactical gap that existed between the inexperience of their rookie year and the current game reading of these athletes is visible in every pre-snap analysis during training. They have ceased to be mere gambles we hoped would pay off and have transformed into physical realities prepared to dictate the pace of the game. The coaching staff itself has changed its approach, moving away from protecting these athletes in specific play packages to giving them total responsibility for commanding crucial areas. This transition from a dependent squad to an aggressive and self-sufficient group is what separates near-miss from absolute success in this new journey that is beginning. To prove that this evolution isn't based on blind optimism, the real data from last season and the playoffs provides undeniable numbers regarding these athletes' potential. Running back Tre'Veyon Henderson, even sharing the workload, finished his year with 911 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, and a spectacular average of 5.1 yards per carry, in addition to 35 receptions. With the addition of fullback Reggie Gilliam to the roster, who was the cornerstone of the Buffalo Bills' devastating running game, Henderson's indoor spaces will catapult his ground game production. Speedster Kyle Williams showed his explosive efficiency by registering an absurd average of 20.9 yards per reception, including emblematic 70-yard plays against Tampa Bay. On defense, safety. Craig Woodson shocked the world in the playoffs. He totaled 30 tackles and 6 passes defended in just 4 postseason games, achieving a PFF rating of 84.3. This grade was simply the number 1 among all safeties in the entire NFL during the playoffs, proving that he thrives under maximum pressure. Edge rusher Elijah Ponder, an undrafted free agent from Cal Poly, capitalized on his chances with 4 sacks and 15 pressures in the final stretch of the year. Rounding out the list, defensive tackle Corey Duran recorded 17 pressures and 30 tackles with a PFF grade of 72.8 in just 5 games as a regular starter at the line of scrimmage. This data shows that his on-field performance has already reached elite levels and that the projection for 2026 is fully supported by official high-performance statistics. In my view as a passionate fan and daily analyst of Foxborough, this crop of sophomores is the best possible answer to those who doubted our return to the top. I truly believe that the impact of these 5 players will dictate the success or failure of our journey in the American Conference this season. It's impossible not to get excited about the mentality Craig Woodson demonstrates in interviews, making it clear that he's not satisfied with what he's done and that he seeks absolute greatness. Seeing Elijah Ponder and Corey Duran take responsibility in the trenches with this aggressive and provocative style brings back that tough guy identity that we've always feared and loved. The offense in Drake May's hands will need the vertical outlet that Kyle Williams offers, with his elite speed to stretch the field against tight defenses. I firmly believe that the projection of 30.5 receptions for Williams this year is modest compared to the real damage he can cause if the chemistry is fully in tune. The front office's decision not to pursue overpriced names on the market for the center of the defensive line shows a legitimate confidence in the potential Durant has already delivered on the field. We are facing a group that plays with the weight of the jersey, but without the fear of making mistakes, perfectly combining a hunger for space with tactical discipline. If you follow the Patriots daily like I do, you know that this kind of youthful spark is exactly the fuel needed to ignite the locker room and transform a good team into a championship roster. The projected scenario for the short and long term, with the consolidation of these talents, puts the New England Patriots back at the top of the NFL food chain. If these 5 players confirm the coaching staff's realistic expectations, we will cease to be a surprise and become the most feared force in our division. Henderson has the potential to establish himself as an elite running back with over 1,000 yards, transforming our ground game into a 2-headed physical nightmare. Williams's development will create a 3-dimensional offense that is impossible to defend against, opening up spaces for our main receivers to destroy secondaries on intermediate routes. Defensively, the future holds a dominant secondary for years to come, led by a mature Woodson ready to take over the leadership of the unit after being mentored by veterans. Ponder and Duran have everything to cement their names as the new pillars of New England's defense, guaranteeing constant pressure against rival AFC quarterbacks without the need for excessive blitzes. This sustainable development will save space on the franchise's payroll, allowing management to remain surgical in future trade windows in the American football market. Tomorrow in Foxborough is no longer a distant promise based on future draft picks, but a tangible reality that is beginning to take shape with each new game played. We are building a foundation solid enough to ensure that our competitiveness lasts for another decade of high-level American football. All this machinery of information, data, and in-depth analysis only makes sense if you're by our side, following every detail of this historic transformation of our team. Therefore, if you've watched this far and your heart beats stronger with the colors of New England, your place is in our official YouTube community. Don't miss the chance to be part of the fan base that understands American football best on the internet. Click the subscribe button below and secure your spot. Activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of the daily bulletins we bring you straight from behind the scenes of training and the locker room in Foxborough. Leave your mandatory like to show the strength of the Patriots Nation and share this guide with all the fans you know on your social networks. To end our discussion on a high note, I want you to go down to the comment section right now and leave your honest answer to this question. Do you believe that Henderson and Woodson have the level of talent necessary to put the New England Patriots back on top of the Super Bowl this 2026 season? Leave your comment, share your honest opinion about the future of our franchise, and let's have an intense debate about our team's destiny. A big hug to everyone passionate about our history, and as always, let's go all out. Go Pats!